And welcome everybody to the Buffalo Bulls Dynasty on College Football 25. We are on to the offseason today, preparing for year 5, coming off the most successful year in the series. It may not have ended the way any of us wanted to, but there's still been growth year over year, every season in the Dynasty. And by far, this team was the best we've seen so far. Now, can we take what worked in year 4, build upon it for an even better year 5? That is the objective. There are a couple challenges to getting there. But welcome to the off-season, and happy Thanksgiving Eve to everybody here watching live Wednesday evening. What's going on? I'm excited to get to some more Bulls, man, especially after the way this season ended. I have a bad taste in my mouth, and I wanted nothing more than there to be more games to play after how it all ended. So, I wanted to get to this off-season quick and get past Thanksgiving and get ready to go for year 5 next week. You doing turkey or tacos for tomorrow? I'm throwing a curveball this year, Mike. We're going pot roast. Favorite Thanksgiving side dish? See, like, none of my Thanksgiving takes are going to be at all traditional whatsoever. I grew up a very picky eater. Didn't like turkey. I don't like the way Thanksgiving smells at all. Potatoes, stuffing, none of it, man. So I don't know if I have a favorite Thanksgiving side. Can I just have like some corn on the cob or something? Like that's the side I want. Mac and cheese. Yeah, you can't go wrong with mac and cheese. Unsubscribed, understandable. Very understandable. But yeah, Thanksgiving tomorrow. It feels like, I don't know. It feels in a way like it snuck up this year, but I think that's kind of the same every year. But yeah, we'll fire up a little pot roast tomorrow, and I'm actually looking forward to the spread we're going to have. Ryan, I appreciate you becoming a new channel member. If you are unfamiliar, the channel members do get exclusive access to a live stream I do every month, and that is going to be this coming Saturday, actually. It's a stream where I talk about things going on the channels, my upcoming plans, different ideas I'm throwing around. So if you would like to support the channel, have access to that stream, you can become a channel member. Totally optional, but the join button would take you there. Late? I was not late. Y'all were hitting late at 4:29. Y'all are gaming the system here. All right, so with the Bulls today, we obviously are coming off of our bowl game. We took an early look at our recruiting class for this year, and the dev traits, I think, look really promising. We only have like a dozen players right now in the class. I think 21 outgoing players, maybe a couple early declares. 12 players in the class, and I'm still actively recruiting like 3 or 4 players and have another 3 or 4 I want to scout. But the number of impact and star dev players, let me move my camera a bit here. We have a star dev, center, athlete prospect, an impact dev, 4-star quarterback in David Ogbonna. Really excited about D'Angelo Meyer and what he could bring to this team as early as season 5. I scouted him once on accident. Right now, if you're a 4-star, I'm not scouting you. You're good enough to come to Buffalo. But the early impression I've had of Meyer is that this guy could be the ideal Lamar Sperling replacement who is now graduating. An X factor I have for today is Joshua Bloom because he is listed at quarterback. But with these athletes, you never know if there's something else they can play. Now, maybe Bloom is best at quarterback. He has an ability there in magician. But if Ogbonna is a much better fit and looks like a long-term guy, then maybe we explore other options with Joshua Bloom. We have Sean Blade, an athlete at wide receiver. I've gone heavy on the athletes. We have some speed now at corner coming in. I don't think these guys will necessarily be ready to go next year. I mean, we saw Cortez Shed wasn't ready, and these players are going to have comparable awareness at 57 for Devontae Carrion. Then we go down to Byron Gammon. Good speed, but similarly lower awareness, probably a year or two away. But cornerback is one of the big talking points today. I felt like I was playing around the weaknesses in our secondary all year, and it really controlled the way I had to call defense. And then we have a 4-star pass rusher coming in Larry Wheeler. So coming into the year, all time in the series, we had 2 4-star players. They were both offensive linemen. This year, pass rusher, running back, quarterback, those are the big 4-star additions. Really can't wait to see what those ratings look like, because I'm not even scouting. There could be some hidden surprises there in a good way. I've also already offered the defensive coordinator job to Dave Grubb, who should give us a boost if he signs on. Had a lot of tactician upgrades, and I'm hoping they're on the defensive side, the weaker part of the team this last season. So we'll take one little look at our stats and move on. But thank y'all for coming into the stream. Matthew, I appreciate the super chat. You can catch the replay later, where I should have some timestamps down below for you to skip around to various parts of the stream. Bloom has running back height, weight. That's a possibility. I think that there's room on the depth chart too to add some running backs. But is a passing offense this year, it was the most fun season. E.J. Colson, 28 touchdowns to 9 picks. Things really opened up this year. Colson was a consistent enough passer, and the weapons and offensive line around him made for a really good unit. Really happy with Colson, and he's only a junior, so should be back for a senior year at Buffalo. On the ground, we have been trying to build up this running game, and this year it finally became what I envisioned, where Lamar Sperling could have those big runs and a high-efficiency role. And he ran for 1,200 yards with Leon Dingle, more the grinder. He's the David Montgomery. Lamar Sperling is the Jahmyr Gibbs. Dingle, 9 touchdowns. Solid contributor. But Braylon Staley was the star of the offense this year, obviously. In the MAC, having a player with his kind of speed can sometimes just be enough. He's more nuanced than that. He does more than just run fast. He's a good all-around player. But, yeah, we're going to take the top off the defense when we have such an advantage. But I was really surprised, and it kind of caught me off guard with how easy it was to hit over the top against some of those weaker MAC teams. We then get to the championship game in the bowl, and suddenly they took away our ace, and I struggled to find the counterpunch. And that's something that really disappointed me this year, because I felt the talent was there. Dallas Roche, to me, could have been significantly more productive, but there's more than just route running. He is only a 5'9", 160-pound receiver, doesn't have the greatest hands, doesn't handle, being in traffic very well. I thought there was so much meat left on the bone on the targets that went his way, whether it was him dropping the ball or Colson missing some of those intermediate throws. I felt like Roche could have had a much greater season. And then Austin Harris, he peaked very early as a wide receiver, and he's unfortunately done developing. And we've seen in the past, he's been a contested catch wide receiver, but that is such a fickle role. Just because a guy's good at it one year doesn't mean he'll be good at it the next, especially if the ratings are where they are. He's a 73 overall. And this year was a year where he didn't come down with those 50-50 balls. He still had increased production because he got so many more snaps and targets, but his role is very much up for grabs this season. I've only watched a little bit of the Buffalo stuff this year. I know they're a lot better than I was in Season 1. I'm wondering if they were a little bit underrated coming into the game rating-wise. They've been running through a lot of teams, including Kent State last night, who has now gone 0-12. I appreciate you becoming a member for 57 months, Devin. And then Pierre drops the big super chat here. Braylon Staley is out there somewhere, indeed. And we can usually get it to him. It just hurts when we can't. And we're chucking those up the last 2 games. You know, my thought process so much was that, you know, if we go down, we're going down knowing we took chances at our best player and our best play, basically. I appreciate that super chat. Austin Harris to DB is an option, but keep in mind his press rating is very low. So I don't think corner is a great fit. Maybe safety, but also I don't know what the receiver depth chart is going to look like yet. Kevin Kajust. I don't think this guy has met expectations at all. He's a really inconsistent player. He's kind of a maddening player at times with drops and inconsistencies in blocking. He's just a good tight end that I thought would be better, and I've been underwhelmed a few years into his career. But the defense was a big weakness this season. Took a major step back as we lost so much talent after year 3. This was very much something I expected. We lost a key player in Laith Shama early in the season, and we never found that second pass rusher to help out Shamar Riser Presley. What we did happen to find, though, is that Penei Fuimauno can now stop the run really well. Now, it takes more than just one player. You can have a bad run defense with a very high-level player, and that was our reality this season. So there needs to be more next to him next year. But Fuimauno is a stud. And then I wish we could have taken the ball away more, but there was just not enough going right for this defense this year. And hopefully it bounces back in year 5 with an offense that can do about what we saw this season. And as far as where we ranked in the MAC this year, now we did play a conference championship and a bowl, and not every team can say that. So we did have the most productive offense, still had the highest points per game. We had 28 passing touchdowns, 15 on the ground, and defensively gave up a whole lot of pass yards, a lot of rushing yards, and 403 points. Hopefully that comes down to a more reasonable level next year. I also think our turnover differential was fine. I think the turnovers have been a bit more under control, but we're not getting a lot of takeaways. We had some of the least amount of takeaways in the conference. Kill4K1, thank you for becoming a new channel member. Appreciate that. Again, channel member stream is on Saturday. I post updates there in the community tab. You'll be able to see posts there for upcoming and past streams. So, we are about to lose some key players, but honestly, this was, I think, a blend of like junior and senior led team. Lamar Sperling graduates. A couple players that could declare early, though. There's Tyler Hilton, Shamar Riser Presley, Penei Fuimauno. Who knows if we're left with a few more problems this year. Braylon Staley, I don't think he'll go pro because he's an 83. We almost didn't have him for year 4. Can you imagine the alternate reality? What are we doing right now if Braylon Staley did transfer away? Because nobody else emerged in a major way in our passing game. So everything could have been different. Nobody else would be catching those 70-yard bombs. That's guaranteed. All right, so we will advance past Bull Week number 1. Yeah, 30 TFLs. He was that good, man. Missed a couple super chats earlier. Kane been a viewer since the Rams franchise. Really hope Staley stays for one last dance, as do I. Thank you, Brian. And maybe these DBs need a guy like former Purdue superstar safety Scott Case in the film room. I appreciate the super chat. Man, I don't even remember that reference. Scott Case. Was that early Warhawk years? Sometimes As I go through all these series, it can be tough to remember everything. We have a new right tackle, though, on the recruiting board now. This is Jared Wade. That's going to free up some points going into the offseason, and points have always come at a premium for us as a 0 and 1 star team. One thing I'm looking out for this year is that I hope we become a 2-star and get a little bit more to work with. Here are the options, by the way, we have for coordinator jobs. Earlier, I had checked, and during the first week of bowl season, we had a Texas offer, actually. I don't know why we're getting DC job offers. That doesn't make any sense. You want to see sliders? Here you go. But know that I'm on I'm on an earlier update. I have not updated my college football 25 in a while. And I don't anticipate downloading the newest patch until it forces me to, because the game is playing well. I'm having fun. Why mess with it? Eric Outlaw. No, I remember that name. Without Staley, it's Pacheco running the flex bone. Man, if we don't get Staley in the passing game opened up like that, does Pacheco become the regular starter and stay that way? We have hired Dave Grubbs, so we have a new defensive coordinator after all these years. Because you can only fire during 1 week, and I kept forgetting. Then I did fire, and I don't know what happened. If I didn't save or something, but this year we're going to have a new DC. Dave Grubb will give us Illinois as a pipeline, by the way. Here are the tactician upgrades. That's quarterback, D-line, running back, and pass blocking. So he's going to help our offense more than the defense, but the D-line upgrade, always going to appreciate that. Wish there was something more for the secondary. Yeah, they got some menu bugs here. It shows the wrong coach all the time. For the motivator tree, it's quarterback and O-line focused. And I could not check abilities before offering to him. It's another flaw here. That it's just a weird flaw and oversight in the mode. Sawyer, 71 months. I gotta see if there's a year 6 badge slot I can post up there now, because that is way up there. Oh my god, I remember that now. I do remember that now, Dacky. Yes, I remember Scott Case now. That absolutely rings a bell. Thank you for reminding me. Playing the last game of your football career tomorrow, Garrett, on Thanksgiving. Leave it all on the field, my man. Get you that turkey leg after the game. Best of luck to you. Happy Thanksgiving. Hoping next year goes farther than this one. Hope so, Ian. I'm targeting double-digit wins now. Again, want to win the MAC championship. Again, want to try to get the double-digit victories. And not see any serious regression. Change the defensive scheme before the portal as we add Quincy Barmore. There we go. I wanted to make sure I targeted a couple offensive linemen. It was not a major need, but it was something I at least wanted to get. I think just getting one interior guy, one tackle a year should kind of be a baseline. You never want to fall behind the curve there and end up playing guys that just should not be out there. Defensive scheme. We could consider doing something different this year. You know, we've been running this 4-2-5. I use a custom defensive playbook. Does the scheme really impact a lot when it comes to the transfer portal? What is the name of the sad music you use for your videos? It's in the YouTube audio library called Shoulder Closures. It's a classic. Everybody wants to know. Bring back the 49 overall Leon. Yeah, that's what this team is missing. A true leader at linebacker. Has to do with the new DC being a 3-4 guy. Oh, I guess I missed that. Do I think we can run a 3-4 defense this year? I'm not against the idea. I think you got the nose in Penei Fuimauno. You've got Joel Treggs, to me, could also be someone really athletic, man. He could give defenses a lot of problems. I've already been thinking of him playing next year. But for the pass rushing side of it, I haven't really been thinking about a scheme change in that way. I think I'm going to keep it 4-2-5 for now, just because I don't want to just wing it here and try to make the 3-4 work. Charles, new channel member. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate you becoming a first round pick. That's the name I gave. You have to put a name in to like that tier when people join. Hey Kane, happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for being a constant watch in my life for years now, since I was in middle school. Y'all been here forever. Appreciate that. So I can't do any recruiting yet as we sim past the national championship. 2-star, there it is. We're going to have some more points this year, guys. Buffalo is now a 2-star program. C+ pro potential too. Might be able to boost that with the draft this year. LSU are the champs. We lost to the champs this year with Arch Manning as their quarterback. They go all the way. 38-31 over USC. And the chat is fired up about the 2-star designation now for Buffalo. Maybe we can have a chance at going after our first 5-star now with that. Yeah, I knew we were probably going to lose to LSU. I wasn't really concerned about losing to them. I mean, we had no chance in that game. I'm not going to try to play the eventual national championship winner this season. Raven, 69-month member. Very, very nice milestone there. Been here since the OG UTSA Dynasty. Loving the series and the Saints too. Yeah, a lot of you seem to be enjoying the return of the Saints, as I've been talking about. That would come back. I've been working on episodes. And you're seeing what I've been working on with that on the side. That's an interesting team now if you haven't checked it out. Kane, what do you know about Frederick Wilcox? We know that he's a solid lefty power forward. He's got that outside game. Frederick Wilcox was good. Maybe I didn't know how to use him, because I had no idea what I was doing on 2K, and I still wouldn't. All right, everybody. The off-season fun is about to really begin, and players leaving could throw a couple curveballs our way. Again, if running backs declare for the draft, I will not convince them to come back, just because it's a thing I'm trying to do to make the series more realistic. Running back is a position with a shorter career, and so if you want to go to the NFL, I'm not talking you out of it. Also, anybody who wants to go in the first 3 rounds, that they're projected to go that early, I will not convince them to stay. If you're that good, go to the league. But anybody else, fourth and lower, I will try to bring you back. Here we go. Players leaving. Looks like it's all seniors. I have nothing to do here. Everybody will be staying put. We could see Lamar Sperling go on day 2 of the NFL draft. That's what I'm talking about. I want to check on a team here, UConn, just because they were the champs. I want to know what they're losing. Darrell Robinson in the 4th round. They're losing a handful of good players. Ellis Robinson, excited to see him, graduating. Shamar Porter as well. These two really wrecked our day in that game. So, very easy stage for us. No one's transferring away. No one's declaring early. We only lose 190 overall player. Doesn't seem like too bad of a situation. Maybe Sperling could fit into the end of the 1st round. Could a good team use a running back like that? And the draft results are in. Lamar Sperling goes round 2. Be cool if they showed us the entire draft in one screen so we could see all the 1st round picks. We're now at the stage of the series, too, where players like Ryan Williams, who's a freshman phenom at Bama right now, he's a senior, going pro, going round 1. As we get into year 5, there are very few real players remaining. It's going to be players who were redshirted during the very start of the series, and that's it. Hoosier fan for life. You got to be enjoying the college football season, mostly. New member on the channel. And we got to dive into the transfer portal now. And here's what I'm thinking this year. So I want to take a look at running back because we're losing Lamar Sperling. And I like our 4-star, freshman we have incoming, but I don't know his ratings, and I want to see what's out there. I want to look at wide receiver, as we're going to lose Roche right now, and I don't know who is going to pop up. But if you're looking for someone to take a big leap with their route running, everybody here is basically at their cap outside of Enrique Trejo. He is not a route runner archetype, so what can we expect here? Could he take a big leap and become a starter? We're kind of hoping so, because right now outside of Staley, there's a lot of question marks at the position. And then I think with edge rush, we could always use more. We've brought in defensive ends, and it's had success with us. We're going to try that again. And corner, especially if we can get more athletic. I think that we need to take a look at players that we could bring in that way. So, to the offseason we go. I do have some scouting to do on these 5 players. Those are all players I added to our board right before going live. Just looking through more high school players we could scout, saving some time having to do it during the stream. But I want to start in the portal. I'm going to cornerback. And we want to look at the 3-star players. Typically, these 3 stars are going to be around a 75 to 80 overall. They could be starting caliber. And especially on our team, they could find a role. Let's go running back. The no scouting of 4 stars makes your offseason more suspenseful. Absolutely. And that's not even something I'm doing for a balance. It's literally I don't want to spend the points on players I know will be good enough. Points have been too hard to come by. So at running back, I cannot bring in any 3 or 4-star transfers, meaning my options are incredibly limited. I will scout Alejandro Correa because power running back is actually something I've been wanting to add to the team. At wide receiver, Tramar Harris. Yep, we'll scout him. How about a tight end? Do we have any blockers here? We should. I don't have too many spots I can add, but I should have enough here. And then we got our pass rush possibilities. Looking to see if there's a power rusher here. We have a couple run stoppers that I've really liked getting those run stoppers. All right, that's 35 targets. Is face cam in the way now? Let me drop that. What do we say? Where's face cam better at this stage of the offseason? Is it here? I didn't check 4-star receivers. We don't have the ability to scout any of those players, unfortunately. All right, so let's go take a look at our scouting board now, and we'll start with the transfer options at corner. So Trent Doman. We're looking for athleticism primarily. If your speed's under a 90, I don't think that we're interested. Because these players are not going to develop, remember, going into this next year. So Trent Doman, probably not a bad player, but doesn't fill holes on our roster. Even with the 92 catching and the 90 press, that is impressive. But I don't think he's a fit. 89 speed and 90 man coverage. That is pretty good. I would like 90 plus. Jeremy Caruthers does have 90. 86 zone. We play a lot more zone than man. So I think I am in on Caruthers. And Larry Pan. Speed still up there, 93 with 70 zone coverage. So I don't think he'd be athletic enough, but I don't think the other ratings are there for him. But 83 awareness here is going to be, yeah, that's the best situation for us. Jeremy Caruthers needs to be a heavy target in the portal. And yeah, the year they're in does matter. Like, Pan would still get more time to develop. He might not be able to play right away, but could play eventually. And does have a little bit of, 75 man, 70 zone. Those slot archetype guys give you a more balanced skill set along with more physicality in their game. So I'll offer him a scholarship as well. Running back Alejandro Correa. I don't know if this is going to be the right situation, but as a transfer freshman, I can be convinced. I'm going to come back to him. We go to Tramar Harris next at wideout. Good speed, good hands. 79 medium, 80 deep route running. Not going to be, incredible in any area. Here's the route runnings that we're currently dealing with, though. And remember, Roche is not coming back. So 84 for Staley. He'll develop. Sean Prochet, his route running is solid, but he's at his caps at 67 overall. So I just don't have high expectations there. Route runnings are comparable to Austin Harris, who's already on the team, and Quincy Witherspoon. So yeah, with the route runnings where they are, I feel like I have this role taken care of, and he's a junior. I don't want him taking playing time from Witherspoon or Trejo, so I'm out there. Tight end is next. Let me save the points for now. It's not a high priority. Pass rushers. This is a junior, Samuel Riddy Jr. 76 finesse, 92 tackle. Not the strongest guy. He might be like a Jakari Bennett backup with that skill set. 82 finesse moves here with more speed and the quick jump ability. Definitely interested here in Onwuka. I'm going to offer him a scholarship. Gabe Madu. Run stopper. 68 awareness, freshman. So maybe could develop into the type of player that I've been targeting in the portal to play immediately with that run stopping first kind of mindset. And yeah, we could use more defensive end depth. So I'm in. And then Rashad Archer as a junior, I'd want probably a little bit more than that. And also only 72 speed, not the best athlete. Nothing stands out quite enough. Let's take a look at some of these high school players I had added to the board late. We have some more athletes. I don't know if I really have a great chance to beat Michigan here for Tony McPrescott, but I just don't think Michigan's going to be that aggressive for a 3-star guy, and if I want in, then I have a good chance. So I'm going to scout him. And we got the quick drop ability. We have 56 awareness. Okay athlete. I don't think he has to be a priority. Here's Brian Dragocevic. Possession archetype, so looking at possibly a tight end with gem and 62 run blocking. I think I'm offering him a scholarship. Onwuka means no one greater. That's awesome. Emmanuel Swope. 6'2", 281, looking at possibly an O-line or D lineman if I want to add another one of those skill sets. And then Bobby Kloffenstein at safety. I have 250 left. That's enough to send the house on 5 players. And maybe that's what I need to do with the points here instead. At least start with that. And also, I still have some players here that I was attempting to get, but the points were taken off the board. And yeah, I am interested here in Dragocevic. When I can get a gem athlete, that's going to be a really good option for us. I'll go 25 there. But Jamal Harper with no other team yet offering a scholarship. I'm going to go 25 on him. Spencer Jordan's going to be an all-in guy. Gem 3-star, hybrid safety, 95 speed. Better man than zone coverage. I actually might be able to do hard selling here instead because I've actually scouted players like him. All right, and I'm in the top 5 stage. I think I'm still better off hard selling in that spot. And then for Jamal Harper, instead, I'll just do a soft sell and probably be in fine shape. Carlos Harms, another power back I thought about adding to the team. Let's compare the two running backs that are on the board here. Harms has 88 speed, 90 acceleration, and his break tackle 75. Correa has 75 break tackle with a little bit higher speed, a little bit lower acceleration. Both have head first and balanced. It's kind of choose your own adventure here, a coin flip. But I might go with Harms because the higher strength. I think every point there matters, and he's 2 higher. And I'm also already close to winning that battle, whereas I don't know about Correa. And also, Correa has a deal breaker, and we don't know if that could eventually, what if my coach prestige drops or something? So I think I'll prioritize Harms. I'm just throwing 10. Just threw the most Kane interception of my life. I taught you well. All right, and then I have offers out for Pan. Along with Madu. And I think Gabe Madu was a little bit more of a priority. 85 block shed, 85 strength. And now I have 30 hours remaining. I think I'm happy with the point allocation. Let me just see how competitive these are. Not too bad. Are we number 1 on anybody's list in the portal? If I just go to all, one player, Rashad Archer, and I did scout him. Yo. How'd I miss that? JV Waters? You might have just saved the day with that comment. I should do this sorting every time. It's kind of annoying how the recommended leads to you missing play. You know what? It's also the fact that I never see what's in front of me at all. Linebackers, players, anything in the fridge. I can't see anything in front of me. I don't know. But it's only getting worse, guys. This is why I need to do these live. I need all of you to help. I'm lost. All right, JV. I apologize for not getting back to you earlier. That was my mistake. And I don't have any of his pitches unlocked. I only know playing style. I definitely need to get some points freed up. I'm going to take away some here from Spencer Jordan. Caruthers is a very high priority because of the position. All right, I'm just going to drop the points off of Madu for this period. And we're going heavy now for J.V. Waters. Do I want to make sure he can get 10 more? I can probably do without these 10 on harms. All right, so 65 there on J.V. Waters. Spencer Jordan. I think I prioritized the right way. All right, to the next week we go. Who'd you beat in the ACC title game there, War? Took Virginia Tech to the ACC title game. So no new players quite yet. Bumped up number 1 for J.V. Waters. And if we don't get him, Central Michigan may. First place there. Up into first for Caruthers. Perfect. He'll come around. And then locked out on a few of these guys. I guess Michigan does want McPrescott that bad. That's all right. I'm going to miss out on these safeties, and that's just fine. And I'm going to miss out on these tight ends because I spent all my points elsewhere. And I'm fine with that. I have 400 to spend now. All right, so can I go and... do I have any pitches now? I got 2, and I think that'll be enough to fill in the blanks. I'm going to assume it's probably that one. There might be another cell I can do. I could do this one just because it fits 2 out of the 3 near perfectly. Or I could do Pro Potential because it's also a possibility that it's his ideal pitch. So we're going to go with that. Hard and soft sell. On Caruthers, Program Tradition, Championship Contender are 2 of his. So it could be this one. Football Influencer. Oh, this is perfect. Good pitches here. A little worried about the Caruthers pitches just not being nearly as good. Playing style, we have that one. All right, we're going to assume it's time to get to work for him. New episodes of the Austin Venom series? No, I'm okay leaving that one. You know, in the past, I had my fun with it, but not looking to revive it or anything like that. Something just, something on my audio just kind of screwed up. So in case my stuff just got out of sync, I'm going to reactivate that. There we go. Look at the wide receivers. The depth not that good in my opinion. It's not. The transfer options, though, we're limiting. We'll see if I missed anything there, but I don't think we have other 3-star options that are intriguing enough. And I'm in 8th place in some of these battles, so making a run might be out of the cards there. Championship contender. What do you mean? Oh, I don't have enough hours on that player. Couldn't add up to 65 there. It's a struggle. Coach Prestige and Conference Prestige. Not in the top 5 stage yet. Pan. Coach Prestige, Academic Prestige. There we go. We have to find the players who want academics. We got that B Academic Prestige. Academic and Coach. It's got to be that one. And if that's the case, that should be an easy fight. And now we'll go 40 points here on Jamal Harper. And I can put points onto the Carlos Harms battle. I should have enough. Let me first see what I have left after doing some extra visits now. If I can do some complimentary visits with my 180 remaining. So would this consider, if I have 2 defensive ends, that would be a competitive visit, right? Not the right one. I don't know. I've been told that like doing visits in the off season doesn't matter unless it's complimentary. I mean, that's just someone saying it. I don't know if there's truth to it. So if we look for like complimentary opportunities here, I would think Jordan and Caruthers would be complimentary. And Caruthers is one of those players that with the pitches not being ideal, I feel like finding a way to get extra points would be in our best interest. So I'm going to have a week 2 visit. And man, what's in the football influencer? Championship contender is what I thought one of those would be. I make changes to both playbooks. They're both custom because the default 4-2-5 playbook has like 0-4-3 stuff, and I certainly don't want to run no 4-3. So now if I go to Waters, is this? It's neither. If I go to Jordan, I guess it's not complimentary for a safety and corner. Really? What about linebacker? No? How about another corner? What does that do? It's just not giving me any feedback there. Don't soft sell on top of a hard sell unless all 3 pitches are A's. Can they just do a more straightforward system next year that's like actually explained? DE and cornerback will be complimentary. All right. So that's 2. And we might as well do only defense for this round. Harper's situation looks fine even without it. Maybe I do Jordan in case Charlotte gets... Or I'm going against Penn State here. I think this is a spot to see if I can get... But wouldn't this conflict? 2 defensive ends. Am I moving Buffalo to the Big Ten anytime soon? Not ready for that quite yet. If I make the Big Ten move, I first want to make sure we're a 3-star team. I don't think anybody else in that conference is under a 3. And I want to, you know, definitely not until we feel like the MAC has run its course. So we're not going to do both defensive ends in the same week. Let's schedule the visit here for Harper then. We'll just do somebody at like every level of the defense. Try to make it complimentary. We got a linebacker, a defensive end, and a safety or a corner. No D tackles. So I think that 3 is kind of the max for that. And then I can put some points here into the Carlos Harms battle. I'm going to go with the soft sell. Maybe that one. And then I think with the remaining 40, I then begin to plan out a week 3 visit. Where maybe I go with Onwuka and someone else to make it complimentary. And that's all my points. Nobody knew yet. Way out in front for JV Waters suddenly. That looks like it's a done deal. Spencer Jordan, we could use a little bit more. There we go. We got a week 3 visit here. We need that to give us a boost. So this is where I'll probably put in... Like, even if I don't need the points for Jordan, just making it more complimentary will help out the players that do need the points. So a safety, a defensive end, and another corner. I could also plan out visits then maybe in the final week, week 4. And this will be the running back and tight end visit. So there's that. Colton, I appreciate the super chat. Thanks for the years of free entertainment, Kane. Wait, you were supposed to be charged this whole time. Was finally able to catch an actual stream, so I figured I might as well show my appreciation. You make Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays the best days of the week. Been trying to drop Buffalo Monday, Wednesday, Friday as much as I can, which has been most of the football season. Really appreciate that. And yeah, a lot more Buffalo on the way. Still trying to target as many Monday, Wednesday, Fridays as I can. Probably going to be a little bit different here with Thanksgiving week, as I'm not going to be working on stuff tomorrow to get it ready for Friday. So if you want like a short-term, JV Waters, let's go. That's a 4-star D-end. What time tomorrow on Saints? I already have it scheduled, so I can tell you that tomorrow's Saints video drops at... Where are you? 2:30 Central. Friday is going to be more Miami. Saturday is probably nothing this week. And then I would target Sunday being possibly the edited off-season here for Buffalo. I want to be working on that here this weekend so I can get year 5 stuff going. Larry Pan. Jamal Harper. That's it for now. Yeah, would you rather watch Saints franchise tomorrow or Cooper Rush versus Drew Lock? Yeah, that's a decade of watching the channel then. I appreciate the super chat. Been watching since your daughter was 10. Now she's 20. Can't believe how long this has all been going on. I have some points, but I don't know that there's a whole lot more I need to do with them. We have week 4 visits already scheduled. I can't do any more complimentary visits with who is left on the board, I don't believe. Maxed. Everybody maxed. I think I'm done then. We can finalize this recruiting class for season 5. Spencer Jordan joins the team. Jeremy Caruthers. That is probably going to be a starting cornerback this year. Then we got... I don't want to screw up the name, but... Is it Obina? Onwuka? I will get it down eventually, but maybe not today. Gabe Madu. Ryan Dragocevic. I think I got everybody I wanted. I have a kicker already on the team for y'all. Are y'all panicking about kicker? Like, I am not at all prepared. You think so little of me. I have Morgan Grassmanis right here. I found a kicker. Now, is he the best kicker? Yes, he is. Finding good kickers is hard. But we have a kicker. We just might have to get inside 50, you know? We need the repeat of the Dominique Day situation. Was that Cards franchise? Dominique Day. Lately, man, I've been getting so nostalgic for what I call the golden age of my rebuild franchises. Browns, Bucks, Cards, especially. Maybe even Texans a little bit, but those first 3, I really miss those series a lot. Kalispell when you didn't recruit a punter? Dominique Day. Oh, now I remember that. Okay. I guess I have Cards franchise on the brain then. What happened in that series? Wasn't there a kicker punter situation? There was a series where I ended up with an injury and a kicker playing quarterback, I think in like week 17 of a year. Do I ever go back to watch them? Not to like consume them, but sometimes to just like refresh my memory or remind me of how I did do some things, because I've especially been evaluating my second channel stuff and like the rebuild franchises as we hit 1,000 concurrent viewers. Thank y'all. But I don't think my past few rebuild franchises were nearly as good as those early ones. And I think it's for a variety of reasons, whether it's the Giants series being too easy or seasons just taking too long. I felt like the earlier series were just better. And I really want to make sure my next rebuild series is hopefully more in line with those ones. So our recruiting class this year is going to finish number 32. I'm going to add that into my notes here. Last year we had the 38th, so our recruiting class has continued to get better every single year. Our on-field record has gotten better. Our recruiting class has gotten better year over year every time. $23 players, 21 outgoing seniors. I think a really good situation to be in. All right, before we continue, I'm just going to take a little bathroom break. And you might see an ad because I'm hitting the mid-roll button on my way out. Be right back. I'm sorry I didn't give y'all a better view of the chair. This is my favorite chair so far. There have been a few renditions of the chair year over year. Is that chair comfortable? Very. This is a secondhand Herman Miller that I got because it was about time for me to get a better chair that wouldn't have the faux leather peeling and had a much more, it was much better for the back. You know, I'm in my 30s now. I might want to care a little bit about my back. And I just wanted a good chair. Can it lean back? If I don't remember exactly all the different adjustments because I just have it locked into what I'm looking for right now. I don't lean back in my chair. I think I can handle, there's probably a tension setting somewhere, but I have it locked so it doesn't do it. right, so our recruiting class is now put together. We'll go to position changes, and we have some athletes to check on for this year. And where are they? 8 athletes. So we'll start here with 59 overall, Braden Augustine. He is projected to be an offensive lineman. And he fits better as a pass rusher. Or a defensive lineman. So 75 speed, good acceleration, 89 strength, 58 awareness. The quick drop ability, though, that is going to be for playing the O-line. His blocking ratings are really nothing too extraordinary. Let me move my camera. I think I'm good to go back in this general area. And yeah, we've talked about the dev traits on the new recruits already. His standout, though, is going to be this 83 finesse. So, Augustine probably going to the defensive side then. I'm going to move him to... How athletic is he? 75 speed, 83 acceleration. I think better interior than defensive end. All right, that's one down. Next up, we have the son of the legendary Pete Wheeler. This is Larry Wheeler, a 6'5", 253-pound athlete, listed as a power rusher, and that will be his best position. I don't think that we need to really look at anything here. We know he's going to be a defensive end, so we'll go put him there. All right, Joshua Bloom could be a quarterback as we take a look at some of the ratings. 91 speed, 90 acceleration, 83 change of direction, 78 juke, 75 catch, 75 break tackle, 78 short route running. As a passer, 88 throw power, 77 short, 79 medium, 67 deep accuracy. So I think you're looking at a quarterback or a running back then. And running back is his top position. Downfield accuracy is a little bit of a concern. By the way, we have another quarterback to check on here. How about we talk about our 4 stars? David Ogbonna with 4 physical abilities. My camera here is in the way of that. 4 physical abilities, including extender and off-platform. He has 82 speed, which is, he's got about the same mobility as E.J. Colson, even better acceleration. David Ogbonna has 91 throw power, 86 short accuracy, giving him second highest on the team, 81 medium accuracy, 77 deep. We need to see things like throw under pressure get a little bit better. But David Ogbonna looks like an excellent prospect that could be our quarterback when E.J. Colson graduates. And compared to the other prospect that we brought in that I thought had a starting future, Ray Elway, Ogbonna is more athletic and mobile, little bit lower arm strength, but better accuracies underneath, 2 lower on the deep accuracy. Elway gets the edge, throw on the run, throw under pressure. So I wanted to see Ogbonna's ratings before I made a decision on Joshua Bloom, but after seeing that and the fact that I think Elway is even further ahead of Bloom as a passer, I'm happy having Bloom as a receiving back. Let's go with... Oh yeah, Carlos Harms was an athlete. Forgot about that. Pass rusher over running back, maybe. So 88 speed, 90 acceleration. That would be really good along the line. 75 break tackle, 84 trucking. Like no spin or juke. No pass catching ability whatsoever. And then as a pass rusher, 78 finesse, 59 power. So he's a power back, but a speed rusher. He's got an interesting skill set here. We'll probably have to go with the D-end focus. Make him a fullback, Taysom Hill, essentially. I wish this game wasn't so restrictive with the depth chart stuff. I don't understand why I can't just like play guys wherever I want like I could on NCAA 14. So his tackling is also not that great. Play rec isn't that great. He could be a small defensive end with a little upside there. Or we just keep him at running back and let him be that between the tackles grinder at a position we don't have a lot of depth. So I think my call here is going to be keeping Harms as a running back. All right, Orlando Rochelle should be a physical wide receiver. Cornerback is his best. Wide receiver is a 65. All right, so let's look into Orlando Rochelle then. 93 speed. With the ball in his hand, doesn't really have any, yard after the catch skills beyond the long speed. 73 catching. Not a great route runner, but can, get off the line decently well. Meanwhile, in coverage, 74 man, 71 zone, 29 press. I think here you decide wide receiver or safety. 70 tackling, 66 play rec. .29 press, though. Yeah, that makes it impossible to trust them at cornerback. I wanted him to be a better fit as a wide receiver. Yeah, they got to look at some of the combinations they get with athletes. Like the 29 press Like, there are certain ratings at each position where if that is extremely low, it's a deal breaker, and I think Press is that at corner. So maybe we try to turn him into a safety with that starting point then. So then we're going to go to Sean Blade. He, too, is a physical archetype, potentially a wide receiver. He actually is best as a receiver. So let's see how Sean Blade compares. He's not nearly as fast, but the short route running is in better shape. 84 spec catch, 74 release. The starting point feels a little cleaner there with him. Two more athletes. Isaac Truman should be a linebacker. Ooh, they like him as a safety too. I was thinking inside linebacker. So Isaac Truman, 88 speed, 85 acceleration. He's 6'1", 222. That modern linebacker build. 85 tackling. 71 hit power, 78 zone, 59 man. I don't care what the overall says. He's a linebacker. It's painfully obvious. And our last player is Brian Dragocevic, who I think could be a tight end, but they're going to say maybe look at the defensive side. All right, 85 speed on him, 81 strength. If he were to play offense, he would need some blocking ability as a tight end. He has no route running skills at all. And he's not a great blocker. On defense, at least, he has pursuit, tackling, and hit power. Work in progress. Might start late in his career if the development goes well. I'll list him as an outside linebacker. And I don't know that there are any other changes I intend to make. Dingle is already a senior. Oh yeah, we haven't even talked about our 4-star running back until now. D'Angelo Meyer. 91 speed. He's our second rated running back already. 91 speed, 92 acceleration. He has 84 carrying. Break tackles in the mid-70s. He has good spin and juke. His pass catching, though, is not great. Joshua Bloom is a lot more developed as a pass catcher. Leon Dingle even more so than D'Angelo Meyer. So he could easily contribute right away, but not do all of the same Lamar Sperling things that we've come used to. And now there could be another running back that develops. We are still pre-training. And there are some big training developments I'm looking forward to seeing. Gonna balance out these positions a little bit. I don't think there are any cornerbacks I want to move. They would need to have too many ratings in the right spot. I'll sort by short route running. Is there a non-receiver that shows up? Yeah, I don't think Babineau's ratings are nearly good enough, though, for a switch. Yeah. I know a lot of you want to see Harris change positions, but I think we're just going to play it out at wide receiver. It's still, I think, where we need him more. And hopefully next season he can be a little more productive. We'll see. And then we got our training results. Tyler Hilton is now a 93. Well, truly an 89, and the number on the upper right is going to be the true overall. Dom Camarda, an 88. Shamar Riser Presley, truly an 87. Jakari Bennett is up. John Burns takes a leap. He is now an 84, with Boost taking him to an 88 overall right guard. I thought he was our weakest starter a year ago, and now he's an 88 overall. Chauncey Baptiste is up big. Braylon Staley, 87. Could he have 100-plus speed now? What kind of a year is he in for, man? All right, at the quarterback position, you got Colson with Elway now leapfrogging Eric Pacheco. So what does Elway do now? 93 throw power, 86 short, 82 medium, 83 deep. Very comparable to EJ Colson. Those ratings have gotten really good. I still think that Colson is better. And a couple things here to keep in mind is that the carrying. Elway's fumble prone a lot more so than any other quarterback on this team. Also a lot less dynamic as a runner. But he's in a good spot. And running back, Leon Dingle, an 85. And Soma Ojinaka, the receiving back, on a team that is looking for a receiving back, has now become the second highest rated option. And I imagine he could see some playing time in that pass catching role. Yeah, Ogbonna is getting redshirted. That's always been my plan. And I think he would have the inside track to be the starter in year 6 over Elway. Right now, Ogbonna's accuracies are really close to Elway's, and he's had 2 years of development. The chance to have a redshirt freshman with his upside, we have to be setting things up for that. At the receiver position, I told you he was the one to watch out for. I told you Enrique Trejo had the most upside, 86 overall, and that had to have come from a lot of route running. All right, so unlike Dallas Roche, he does not have the elite short route running, but medium and deep. Oh boy. And, 84 short is nothing to, scoff at or anything. That's still going to give him a good chance of being our slot receiver and a guy we're going to on third downs. And then we got Sean Prochet, who actually does take a big leap there. Actually, I don't know if he did. He's only a 66 overall still. I don't think that moved. So there we go. We'll see if anyone can break out at receiver. Enrique Trejo, we're hoping he has himself a nice sophomore year. And if you're wondering who eventually takes over for Braylon Staley, I think that clears a lot of it up. And he ain't done developing his route running either. Tight end. I don't think Kevin Kajust really changed at all. Could Logan Clinkscale challenge, though? Clinkscale, lower catching, lower route running. Yeah, Kajust role is safe. I have not been able to challenge it yet. Antoine Berryman could be starting left tackle now as Henry Tabansi graduates. Then Dom Camarda with Tyler Hilton, John Burns. This offensive line is so much better than the one I had to start the series, guys. It's not even close. Antoine Gatto takes a big leap. Redshirt freshman. I think he was like a 66 last year. The upside is still really high. At right end, Shamar Reiser Presley is still a standout. And then JV Waters, same overall as Jermichael Humphreys. So those two will be competing for the same snaps. And now D-tackle. I want to see Joel Treggs as a mid to high 70s. I got it. Along with Troy Hodell up to a 78. But Treggs, I think, has the most pass rush upside on the interior. We lacked that last year. Fui Mauno had 3 sacks. Treggs is more athletic, better first step with that acceleration where it's at. Plus, he's still very strong. He rushes with finesse. He's not a great run stopper, so he might be a more situational player. I think you're going to see Troy Hodell play a good bit with his block shed and balanced ratings. He might be able to hold off Treggs because he can just do more, but these top 3 D tackles will be playing most of the time. A linebacker then, Ladarius Kennedy, Leon Edmond, 81 overall, redshirt freshman, 97 tackling. Could that help our run defense? Is that good? 87 pursuit, 88 zone coverage. Edmond and Kennedy are going to be roaming the middle. I don't think there's any competition there for that spot. Artie Ernsberger, good run stopper, just not enough to be a top 2 linebacker. And now in the secondary, we need to be more athletic this year, right? This is tough. No one took a massive leap at the position. Caruthers was brought in to help. And I imagine with his 83 awareness being among the highest, his 86 zone coverage and 78 press, Caruthers is going to be a starter. And I think we're going to see Caruthers and Rager on the outside, Ramari Taylor in the slot, and the big demotion goes to Matteo Buffelli, whose speed and acceleration combination just doesn't work. Yeah, I got 99 speed down there. I got speed developing. It's coming. It's not that there's no speed, it's that it's not ready to play. Cortez Shed played at the very beginning of last year, and what happened? He was getting torched. Shed is in a better position now, but 60 awareness is still a problem. Teams went after Matteo Buffelli. Ideally, he'd play in the slot. Ramari Taylor has held down that role. So Could we see somebody else play outside? Buffalo go into the slot where he is our best overall corner, and there are good things to like in his game. He'd finally be playing where he's has a fit. Do we go Taylor over Rager? At safety, Brenton Lampman, who had a great season last year. He had to defend a lot of those deep balls. And then who plays opposite now? CJ Turner has graduated, and he was very key. Also in a deep safety role. And now suddenly, Xavier Leonard, does he have that same deep range? 85 speed, 82 zone coverage. We're going to give him a chance. He has 99 catching as well, 85 hit power. But the secondary remains a problem. At the very least, we know teams attack that left side of our defense. There is a new corner there. But I think I have to call things about the way I did last year. A lot of cover two. Our athleticism dictates we play a lot of cover two defense. And maybe some man-to-man with safety help. But in the earlier years in the series, when I had McCarthrins and Bridges, I would play a lot more cover 4, cover 6, cover 3. But that's because those guys could play deep. We don't have that now at corner. Grassmanis, 86 kick power, 79 accuracy. He'll be your kicker this year. Buffalo at safety. I don't know. I don't think... I'm not sure he plays the ball well enough down the field. Later in the year, when was he making plays? When the ball was coming out quick. I want to have a chance to play him at his best position. So I think our strengths and weaknesses pretty much line up right with where they were a year ago. The question is replacing Lamar Sperling, and like what happens on offense with Sperling out, Trejo in? What does all that look like? I don't have to cut anybody if I don't want to. I am going to cut Andrew Phillips, though, because I don't want the depth chart to accidentally put him out there at any point, and he's my low leg strength kicker. You're a redshirt senior, find somewhere to play. We're sticking with Morgan Grassmanis. Sperling did get drafted, yes, in the second round. Highest draft pick of the series. And not changing around any conferences or anything. I like the way things are. I see the first pick of the series, not the first. We had some picks. I think Bridges. I don't know if Bridges was a pick. Who all has been picked? Can't remember exactly. I did want to see our schedule, though, and if we get UConn. Oh, we're supposed to get Ohio State this year? I think that's a real schedule because Buffalo has something with the Big Ten. Ohio State? I don't want to play Notre Dame again, do I? I mean, bowl game rematch? If it's real, I'm probably going to keep it. Look at that. Week 4 is your showdown there. UMass, UConn. As far as the home road split, it's actually broken up a lot nicer than it usually is. We don't have like 3 road games in a row or 3 home games in a row. I'd love to play Old Dominion again. Play a service academy. We should play Army because I wanted to play all the teams that are in Army or in Army. I wanted to play all the teams in New York, and there are only like 2 others. It's Buffalo, Syracuse, Army. Is that it for FBS Division 1? I could play like Rutgers and just include New Jersey. Ohio State is the only real game on the schedule. Good call. So I guess we're playing Ohio State, which means I want a different game week 0. Is Old Dominion available? And because they beat us, we should have to travel to them. So these would be our 2 road non-conference games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 4 road conference games. We might play a little bit more at home this year. I'm going to open that up. Army is available here. Week 10. I appreciate that, Chris. 71 months. Hope you have a good Thanksgiving, too. Play Georgia week 0. That's not my idea of fun. Oh, I'm not purposefully looking for back-to-back buys necessarily. If Army makes more sense there, then I can move them. But now I have kind of a messed up schedule a little bit. Army not available there. And not available here. So if I want to play Army, it has to be week 10 or week 0. So imagine our defense facing Army week 1, Ohio State week 2. We would learn absolutely nothing 2 games in. Facing a team whose offense we'll never see again, and then facing a team that is 16 calibers higher than us. So I think I like Army more here in this late window. If I'm playing Ohio State in week 1, then I'm getting a different type of matchup in week 0. Where even like Arkansas State could make some sense. Liberty would be interesting. Could play Iowa State University. I try to look for a somewhat even-ish matchup here, maybe slightly favorable to us. Have I played UTSA in the series yet? Everybody loves Temple for the rivalry. We do have to win rivalry games if we are to unlock one of the tiers on our skill tree. I'm trying to see then, was our last game at Temple home or road? Season 4. We played Temple week 1 of last year. Played them week 0 of last year. So that would have to be a home game. So Temple, Ohio State, Old Dominion, Army late. I know we got the back-to-back buys here, which isn't, not my favorite either. You could have a goofy schedule where you go 2 non-conference, 2 conference, 1 non-conference, 3 conference, 1 non. Play Boise in Boise. Man, both teams wearing all blue at the same time. Yeah, we do have a couple different opponents on the schedule this year, at least. I feel like we play Central Michigan, Eastern Michigan every year. Northern Illinois hasn't showed up in a while. I'm going to keep it this way for now, and maybe I'll make some changes later. I want to move on to something else. I do want to see some of our skill caps now and take a look at some of these new players. So we talked about earlier, David Ogbonna looks like he's going to be a really good player, but what are the skill caps? How much better can he really get? Ogbonna, these aren't too bad. You know, the 3 grade out there on accuracy will limit him from becoming like an elite accuracy quarterback, but his ratings are already in a pretty good spot, and if he gets to the mid-80s, then he's going to be a starting quarterback for us. No problem there. I think that's solid upside. And I like all the abilities, too. I appreciate the super chat, Caveman. Yeah, I might get rid of the Army game for a different year when the Big Ten stuff is maybe over or the schedule's a little more, I think, better for that. So I can get a different team week 5 or 6. We'll play Army at some point. At running back, D'Angelo Myers, 74 or 77 overall. Star development. And, no, not the best caps, honestly. But again, I think he'll end up in the mid-80s somewhere overall-wise. And thankfully, he can get better as a pass catcher, because that's going to really be needed for more versatility. Not the best caps there. Joshua Bloom, meanwhile, the receiving back. Good route running upside. All right. Carlos Harms, the power back. Oh, that's bad. We still need more power back depth. At receiver, we add Sean Blade. Normal dev, not expecting anything big, and yeah, we got about the similar stuff that we were getting from Austin Harris. So the 3-star physical athletes, pretty underwhelming for me at receiver. I might be better off just looking at wide receivers. Here's Quincy Barmore. He is a guard whose upside could be a bit limited by all these caps. And then Jared Wade, impact. Not the best caps. We added George Robbins. He was a 3-star gem with star dev, and the only bad cap is like the most important one, his finesse moves. So we'll see how he develops. Larry Wheeler, the 4-star. Again, I said son of Pete Wheeler. Many of you will remember him for his dynamic speed and versatility. Played a lot of sports back in the day. Larry Wheeler, I think this is all right. You know, he doesn't need to be a whole lot more athletic as long as he can get good as a run stopper, power moves. We'll be in good shape. And he already has, you know, good gear decked out. I'll probably do a little practice today. I don't know if I'll do a ton of it because I don't know how much more new there is to see. There are a couple things I do want to test. Got a couple D tackles here that are low rated. And the caps aren't bad there on Braden Augustine. And with star dev, he could easily take a huge leap. Harvey Cardens, though, aren't great. Isaac Truman, this is one of the key players. I think he's got a lot of upside, but these caps are going to limit that. At least we have Leon Edmond. What have I missed? Quite a bit. We're in the preseason stage now, looking at the roster. But, you know, we only lost our seniors. I thought we had a good recruiting class. We had a couple portal additions, but more or less, this feels like a continuation of last year's team. It's like the TLDR. We don't have Lamar Sperling. What do we do now? We could have a new breakout receiver. We'll see on Enrique Trejo. But I don't think there's any sweeping changes. Dragocevic actually has pretty good caps, but the coverage is still, you know, going to hold him back from being a 3-down guy. At cornerback, I added some guys with great speed. You need more than speed to play. Carrion. These caps aren't great. We're going to need him to really max out what he can do. But Gammon, I believe, was a gem. Star Dev. And his caps are in a significantly better spot. He's the less athletic of the two, but still has long speed. Spencer Jordan. Looking for a rangy safety and not great caps. Probably could still become a starter one day. And Orlando Rochelle. So here is a physical archetype athlete I just let go to safety instead of receiver. And his upside does look significantly better than the guys I end up sticking at wideout. So a couple things I want to do right off the bat is I want to get a look at D'Angelo Meyer. I want to get a look at Enrique Trejo. And I want to challenge on the outside then. I want to see Caruthers. I want to see if Ramari Taylor could possibly, I don't know. I think some of these ratings might stand out a little bit more when he's outside. We can try Buffelli as the slot guy. I do want to throw some deep balls at our defense, though. Let me save. I can't practice, I think, until I get the start of the year, right? Let me back out of Dynasty and load back in because it still, sometimes doesn't show. I play on Matt 10 sliders, but I'm on probably an older set at this point and an older patch. So I'm not on like the newest update. But I would check out his thread on Operation Sports and plug those in and see if they work for you. All right, so I got more stuff I have to do. I have to get our schedule set then. And I think I'm just going to have to probably cut the Army game this year for what I want to do. I don't necessarily mind Temple here because, I mean, we just played him in week 0, so changing it up a little bit would be kind of nice. Arkansas State. For some reason, they stand out as an option. They had gotten pretty good at the end of the UTSA run. James Madison. I haven't played James Madison or Jacksonville State. What did JMU go last year? 6 and 7? I wouldn't mind maybe starting with James Madison. James Madison, Ohio State, Old Dominion, and Temple. Old Dominion is our bowl game rematch. Probably like that. I just want to see James Madison's roster. '90 overall running back. We could get that test right away. Joshua Douglas. Definitely wouldn't be pushovers. I think I'm down with that. But now we have to set up a recruiting board for this year. We'll do Rutgers in a different year. I know we have 2 Sunbelt teams on the schedule, but I'm trying to do only one, like, Big Ten team at a time. We got Ohio State this year. Well, let's set up our recruiting board then for year 5. And after getting 2 4-stars a couple years ago, 3 4-stars last year, I want to see if we could possibly add our first 5-star player. Right now, no one that's a 5-star has interest in Buffalo. However, there are 4-stars that are actually very interested. Can you imagine how this would look on his jersey? I want to get him just to see what that would look like. It looked like Simeon Woods Richardson for the Twins, just wrapped around in a circle. Yeah, I got some skill points I could spend as well. Let's just see if I want to do anything with recruiting for now. If not, then I can spend those later. But as far as recruiting, I might as well buy this one. But I can't do anything more there. The motivator tree, is it... That's only for players on roster. Tactician is all ratings. Here's our D coordinator, Dave Grubb. And not to mention, guys, we're a 2-star program now. We have more hours to spend. All right, so we are going to see if this is the year we can start to talk to 5-star players. And I'm going to go for a couple key positions. I would like to look at receiver and cornerback. I'm going to look at Levi Poole because of his deal breaker, which I'm covering up right now. Let me move my camera again. So I don't necessarily want to recruit from the championship contender deal breaker quite yet, because I don't know if we're going to be able to stay at that level. And proximity to home is the safer option. At cornerback, we just can't talk to anybody. At safety, championship contender could be tough. So maybe I have to open it up a little bit, otherwise my options are pretty limited. These 5-stars want to play for titles. In that case, then I'm going back to corner, where I can't add anybody, so I'm going back to receiver. And I'm intrigued here with Lorenzo Gruppi. What is he ranked? 10th? Probably not going to be in great shape with that. Now, anybody in a pipeline that we could potentially target. Paul Stockton. We'll start there. We'll go for the 5-stars that are in our pipelines and then a couple freelancing ones that I added in. But the 4-stars are going to be a little more intriguing And I should probably scout all of the 4 stars that like us. Loving the content, Kane. Maybe use the last 15 points and motivator for DBs for a chance to get better off-season boosts for speed for your cornerbacks. That's a great idea. That's been the spot that needed development, and we didn't get it this year. So, good call, Mark. Bro. Can we get Devin Hester, the cornerback? All right, so I got a couple 4 stars there on the board. I don't want to go for just 4s right now. I want to go to wide receiver now. Oscar McNabb, Roger Grimm. But the route runner archetype is one I really want to look into. So what I do in week 1 here, or the start of preseason recruiting, is I cast a very wide net for players, and many of them will not even entertain us. But how did I get 3 4 stars last year? By targeting 20 and seeing who could actually be realistic to go for. And then as soon as I get to week 1, I see who we're out on. Then I start adding in more 3-star players to the board. So yeah, I will be adding a lot of 4s. We leveled up our tier this year. We are in much better shape to recruit in many cases. $21 4 and 5 stars seems like a pretty good starting point there. As long as I went after every 4-star that had us. But then how about the 3s? Six 176. Good size here for a couple corners. Kenny, 9 months as a member. Thank you for staying on as a channel member. Appreciate that. I want some Chinese food, Kane. What should I order? You got to get you some General Tso's chicken. Got to get some rice and some sweet and sour sauce. And I also am a big fan of the crab rangoon. We should also take a look at what we're actually losing this year, which is only going to be a 17-player class. Yeah, I would go fried rice too. It's Thanksgiving week, so just go all in. Egg fried rice. I still can't get over you saying you don't like the smell of Thanksgiving. I don't. I don't like the smell of a turkey being in the oven for 6 hours. I really don't. Losing 2 centers. Losing a couple defensive linemen here at each position. 4 defensive ends. And losing 4 corners this year, actually. I have some young corners. Let's make sure I get some centers on the board. Like, instead of a Thanksgiving turkey, how about a Costco rotisserie chicken for like $6? I could do some damage on that. That's not center. I've never had fried turkey. No. One time we tried smoking it to see if that would be better. And, like, sure, but it's not in the top, like, 5 meats you could smoke. No, they got rid of the churro. You can't get the chicken and the churro anymore. You have to get the cookies now. I have seen my fair amount, though, of, like, deep fried turkey gone wrong videos. So if anyone is deep frying a turkey, you might want to make sure you know what you're doing. That's a big pot with a big bird and a lot of oil. I have any running backs on the board yet? Hey, Illinois is a new pipeline for us. I'd rather have a ham than a turkey. I get down with that for sure. How about a blocking tight end? Junior college, though, already a junior. Anybody that has me in their top already? Quincy Westbrook, vertical threat. I mean, Kajust is getting older. He's going to graduate next year. Already getting my board pretty full. Infrared cooking. Deep fried taste, but moist like from the oven. I'm not even aware what that is. I know what the air fryer is, but infrared cooking. What do you cook that in? I want to double check our games tomorrow. What do we start with? I feel like they need to do a refresh. I mean, yes, the Lions are good now to watch on Thanksgiving after decades of like bad games from them. They really should have flexed some of these games, I think. I know they can't do it for this probably, but Bears, Lions, I guess that's not terrible. I mean, the Bears, the last 2 games with Thomas Brown as the OC, they have been a lot more watchable and pretty good, actually, at a lot of things. Giants, Cowboys, that is when you take your nap. So you pig out during the Lions-Bears game. You watch, some Ben Johnson masterclass work. And Matt Eberflus, show you how good of a coach he is. And then you take a nap for Giants Cowboys, wake up just in time to see the Dolphins get frostbite. So, not the best 3-game slate, not the worst, I guess. I smell bacon cooking right now. That's when you watch Saints franchise. Yeah, I'm glad. What time does that start? 3:30? Yeah, I'll have that video up by then. It drops at 2:30 tomorrow. Saints franchise. What are my thoughts on Daniel Jones as a Vikings fan? I mean, as a backup, sure. Having a guy with experience that's played is never bad. But, like, I actually didn't think he was a great fit for Minnesota because even when, like, Nick Mullins was playing and Josh Dobbs was playing, like, the Vikings passing game requires you to stand in and throw the ball downfield. And Daniel Jones has shown that he's either not willing to do that or he's bad at it. His downfield accuracy is horrid. But as a backup with some coaching, maybe KOC can work some magic. Yeah, actually, I would think the Dolphins would be maybe a better fit because I would classify the Dolphins as like a distribution-based offense. Like, you know, a lot of it is so choreographed, you know, their offense with all their motions and the way they set up a lot of their screens and stuff. It just requires you to kind of be on time, make the read, make the quick throw. Tua does it really well. And, we haven't seen another quarterback execute that offense very well when he's gone down. But I would think of that, I think, more so as a fit. But you have to remember, Daniel Jones was a free agent. This was a two-way street, you know. He probably had a list of teams he wanted to, and the Vikings were probably near or at the top because of Kevin O'Connell. The Raiders, well, he could have gone there and played probably, but how good? Like right now, Daniel Jones is setting up to become a free agent in March, right? He needs to, for him, salvage a market. And playing a lot on a bad team is something he already did. And the Raiders don't even have Malik Neighbors. They have Brock Bowers, but they have the league's worst running game. They are one of the least talented overall teams. There'd really be nothing for him to gain playing there. I don't know here. Tavares Blizzard might not have the ideal athleticism. So we're going to get in some scouting now. 89. Brian Bautista. No? Thought the ratings showed some promise there. 80 pass block finesse, 76 pass block. Here's a gem power back, Danny Leo. Okay, I scouted the 4-star. He got mixed in with these guys. So we'll obviously offer a scholarship, see if that Illinois pipeline can be something that brings a 4-star running back to Buffalo this year. .79 speed vertical threat. That's a tricky spot because it's not nearly the speed you want, and plus you have no idea of the blocking. And tight end is not a position where you want to be kind of a tweener with your skill set there. Like, be good at something. Robert Ansah, we finally got a gem that might be a great fit. Now we have an in-state player, David Wanogo. 80 finesse, 78 speed. I'd have some interest. But yeah, what I'll do for a lot of this first stage is all these 4-star players and the 5-star players, I'm just going to offer a scholarship and see in week 1 who actually likes Buffalo. What's the forecast tomorrow for Green Bay? I always wonder about these warm weather teams, and it doesn't get much warmer than Miami this time of year. Going to Lambeau in December and late November, but then I remember that Josh Rosen got Mike McCarthy fired at Lambeau Field. That's right. I'm remembering that right, correct? It was after the Cardinal game. Josh Rosen. High of 31. That sounds absolutely miserable. Been through enough of that and worse. Also, Green Bay played a game against Miami a couple years ago when they were kind of saving their season. Was that this year or last? It's all blending together. What year was the game where Miami got out to the early lead big time and then Green Bay came back in the second half and ended up winning the game, and everybody thought Green Bay would get rolled? Yeah, I guess if you're from Miami and you get a taste of that minus 20, that's got to be a massive wake-up call. As someone who grew up with it and lived with it for years, it never gets easier. I can't remember if Tua got concussed in that game. I want to say he played that game healthy, and it was just they ran out of answers in the second half of that game. Oh, we're in preseason recruiting, so we are near the end of the offseason. Just doing a little housekeeping for the new recruiting year is all. Oh yeah, the wind chill. You got the temperature of the air, you got the wind chill, you got the feels like. It's so annoying when you check the weather and it's like feels like negative 13. Like what do you mean? What does that even feel like? Once you get past a certain point, it all feels the same because you go numb. Ah, keep backing out on accident. Oh, was he not diagnosed in that game? I think there were some interceptions. I want to see, when was that game again? Yeah, it was 2022. The Dolphins were 8-6. The Packers were like 6-8. And Packers won 26-20. It was Christmas. Tua threw 3 picks. Jalen Waddle had 143. Tyreek had 103. I'm excited when they get Waddle going. Like, it hasn't happened all year, and then it did last week. They're trying to get me to buy in again. Seeing if there are any gaps here that I'm trying to avoid. My position choices so far make sense outside of like no athletes. That's a mistake. Always got to have a couple athletes. I had 8 this year. So I like to see what options I have when it comes to the archetypes. Tua doesn't get enough love. You know, I've never been like a huge Tua guy, but I think one thing that actually makes Tua look good is how awful the Dolphins are without him. Like, I don't watch them enough to know really, like, to have a more informed takeaway, but it's just like, why can no one end up running a functional offense outside of Tua there? Is McDaniel's scheme in a way flawed? Because obviously they're not a traditional offense, what with all the motions and I guess their screen game and whatnot. Still have 120. I got 35 targets. No gem. Give me another run-stopping defensive end. It's not an archetype that's nearly as common as power or speed rush. But I think we've seen from the guys I've brought in that have that, especially in the portal, it's really nice to have defensive ends that can play the run well. And Stock was also a bust. Also, if you want more content today, I did end up posting a new Miami Dynasty episode over on the second channel. I think I'm reaching the point where I'm thinking about starting something new over there, though. I haven't really been doing much with Madden. I've been looking at some of my past Madden rebuilds lately, and I don't think they've been as good as some of the other ones that I did. I am thinking of starting up a new one very soon. And obviously to do that, you got to have a team picked, right? I have a few in mind, but I'm really not sure what would be the most interesting for you to watch. So if I gave y'all a poll, could you give me at least your opinion on what team you think would be the most interesting? And 1 second, this page for me stopped updating. I'm not sure if y'all can hear me right now, but the page that shows kind of like all my stream stuff is not loading at the moment. So I'm going to pull that up. Yeah, y'all can hear me? Okay, I pulled up the watch page on YouTube, so I don't know why the creator thing is not opening anymore. That's really odd. Because in order to do a poll, I kind of need this to work. Alright, 1 sec. I'm just going to reopen my browser because it's not even opening new tabs for YouTube stuff. But anyway, the teams I've been thinking of lately that are interesting for a Madden franchise and are having bad years are the Jets, pretty self-explanatory, the New England Patriots, who do have a good young quarterback, but offensively, it is the least talented team in the NFL. And then the Jacksonville Jaguars. And this would be for a second channel rebuild-oriented series. Dude, what is going on? Open up. The Jaguars are pretty much a mess. Trevor Lawrence in Madden is now a 74 overall with a big contract. What is the most intriguing? Appreciate the super chat there, Caveman. Now I'm back in. Okay, man, you sent multiple. I appreciate that. Yeah, let me run a poll, though, because I do want to know what you guys think, because I had a hard time really breaking the tie, because I think about the Jets as being a little too talented in a way for a YouTube rebuild. It feels like it might be a little on the easier side. And then you think about the Patriots, who already have a quarterback. Are you as interested in a series that already has a quarterback in place? And then with Jacksonville, they have a quarterback, but he is way behind where he should be and not on his rookie contract any longer. So let me see where YouTube has put in the ability to throw a poll up. All right, it is up. Also, the Jaguars roster sucks. Did I mention that? On Madden, they have Josh Hines-Allen. Trayvon Walker's kind of intriguing. Nobody in their secondary is even in the 80s. Foysade Aluakin, Good linebacker. Brandon Scherf, who's probably gone in the offseason. Traded away Cam Robinson. Travis Etienne. Evan Ingram. Rebuild series or one video? Rebuild series. I do think the Titans would be a probably better pick than all three, but I've done a series with Tennessee just in Madden 23. So, you know, at this point, I've used a lot of teams. After a while, I think they're interesting all over again. Like, I've done multiple series with the Vikings and the Raiders. But, you know, if I've done a series with them in the last couple of years, I'm not going to do the Saints, even though everybody, you know, should be intrigued in the Saints rebuild with their cap situation. Nate Bell, head coach candidate. I mean, that does sound perfect. And even not playing with him for 9 years, he's probably better than anybody they got there. What about the Giants? I did a series with the Giants just a couple of years ago over on the second channel. Patriots have a quarterback, and what else? Christian Barmore, Kyle Duggar. Yeah, that's my list. Their offensive line, man. It's like, dare I say, XFL tier. Oh, I'm sorry. Christian Gonzalez. Yeah, Christian Gonzalez is an absolute stud. I like him a lot. Patriots got some players on defense, but they have an offense. What do they average right now? If I had to guess off the top of my head, I'd say the Patriots average 16.5 points a game. I know this is thrilling as I look up something I'm not even showing. Points per game, the Patriots average 16.4. Only ahead of the New York Giants. I'm out of space on my board, too. Take Blizzard off. And Officer. So, as we check out the poll results, it's definitely leaning Jaguars with 153 votes. As I've been thinking about it today, the Jaguars did become the team I was leaning towards. I think it's an interesting starting point because, like, everything is a need, really. And you have Trevor Lawrence, who's still in his mid-20s, but he's now getting paid more. His contract actually is set up very team-friendly. The cap hits don't get big until, like, 3 or 4 years down the road. So you still have flexibility while you see if he's the answer or not. But if I were to do a Jags rebuild, I'd start off and basically say Lawrence has 1 year to show me what he's got. Otherwise, like, I can't wait around while this conference has Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. You better have it figured out by 25. Oh, yeah, Keon White's having a better year. I mean, there are good things going for that Patriot defense. I just don't have anything nice to say about their offense. Are there really like 4 guys better than KJ Osborne? Didn't the Jags just re-sign a corner? Their highest rated in Madden is Tyson Campbell, unless there's someone injured that wasn't showing up on the depth chart I was looking at. The last cornerback contract I remember was Diamador Lenore with the 49ers. It's like the Texans rebuild. Let the old quarterback go, draft the successor. And Trevor, at this stage, is not even close to where Deshaun Watson was in Madden 21. Amir Quarterman. So I saw the size. Definitely more of a defensive tackle. But I'm intrigued. 286 is also a little large for defensive end, unless you have the athleticism. So I have found 2 defensive ends who actually fit much better as D tackles. And I'm interested here potentially in both Amir Quarterman and Dalton Doss. Yeah, I think that with Trevor Lawrence and really a lot of these teams, like when you have the benefit of hindsight, I think one thing you're always going to come back to is like bad organizations are often like, maybe it's a little confirmation biasy in a way, but you know, with the talent and Aaron Rodgers in New York and Trevor Lawrence going to the Jaguars, like, did these guys transform their landing spot? No, not really. But then there are situations where teams don't have the best, you know, infrastructure and whatnot, and the quarterback does help change the complexion of things. But for sure, the coaching in Jacksonville has been awful. And Trent Baalke, I can't believe he's still NFL GM. Actually, like, flabbergasted by that. What about a franchise with a real draft class? I am always a lot more intrigued with a fictional class that allows me to have unique players that we can develop storylines and more attachment to. If I end up drafting, you know, Shadur Sanders, say, to a team, like, because he's a real player, I don't think it's as intriguing when we have these series that go into the future and see who develops. Like, I would much rather have my Perry Cummings story from the Browns rebuild than have, you know, Saquon Barkley just because he's the real player, you know. As a Sam Darnold fan, I'll always hate the Jets. So you're a Sam Darnold fan, you don't like the Jets. Must be a USC fan. Nate Bell wouldn't exist if we did the real draft class. Exactly. Not saying those players can't pop and be exciting and fun, but I think the ceiling is higher when it's fictional. Unless the point is to do something with those realistic players. Like, the realistic rebuilds are on YouTube because, you know, people are projecting what could happen. I'm not trying to tell you what could happen. I'm trying to put on a show. That's all. Got a dip for the night, but thanks for the content. Have a great holiday, Mike. I appreciate you coming by. As you always make it to the stream. All right, we're going to do a little practice, but just to take a look at our board here and what players moved us up. The 5 stars don't always react right away to our scholarship offers, but here's Scotty O'Shaughnessy putting us up at number 1. Here's Steven Makovica. Cole Olshansky, Vince Scotland Williamson, DeMarco Gaffney. A lot of 4 stars are bumping us up. Morgan Scarborough, Devin Hester. The 4s really are showing us some interest this year. Like, there's a lot of 4 stars here. So my initial look here is that there are so many 4s, and I'm obviously going to go for the 4s that like us. But maybe I reduce the 5s because I only have 450 hours. And if this many 4 stars are putting us at number 1, they're getting the points. I will say one player worth scouting would be DeMarco Gaffney because he is a quarterback. We already have a 4-star quarterback who I think is a future starter for us. And I would need to actually see Gaffney's ratings before dumping, 50 points this week, 50 the next week. So I'm actually going to scout him right now. Wow, he's a gem. Because I can't just directly compare him, let me get a picture of his ratings, and now we'll go and we'll check out David Ogbonna. So, Gaffney has 90 throw power, Ogbonna 91, 83 short accuracy for Gaffney, and Ogbonna has him bested there. Gaffney has 82 deep accuracy compared to Ogbonna's 77, 78 medium accuracy compared to Ogbonna's 81. Throw under pressure, 81 for Gaffney. Throw on the run, 86. So it's going to be tight, very close. But do you put a lot of points into that kind of a battle when he has a lot of similarities in skill set to a guy we already have? I would lean towards probably not if it's at all close. So I'm going to end the poll here. The Jaguars are going to end up with 40% of the vote. Jets 30, Patriots 30. I think I'm leaning towards Jacksonville for a new series over on the second channel. Chicago Bears should have traded back and drafted a receiver, a lineman, and kept Fields. I don't agree with keeping Fields instead of having the chance at Caleb Williams. I think that the holes in Fields' game were pretty obvious. Granted, the coaching wasn't great and the situation wasn't ideal, but I have never seen enough that would say I'd rather stick with him over Caleb Williams. At this point, though, I'm ready to go practice. I gotta save. We back out and load back in. We'll do a little practice, and then I'm getting some Thanksgiving Eve dinner. Who are the captains this season? I would say E.J. Colson. I would have our center, Tyler Hilton. I would have Shamar Riser Presley. And I think Brenton Lampman, the safety, who showed up big time a year ago. Those are my 4 captains. Now, there aren't so many new players that are going to step into starting roles here. What I really want to do is I want to throw a few deep balls because I want to try our new cornerback on the outside. I want to get a look at Enrique Trejo. I didn't get my playbook. Let me redo that. You can have 6 captains. Well, then Staley makes the cut. Do I have a punter? Yes. It's still Travis Kesey, the same guy that we've had for a couple seasons. And so I'm going to force them to come out then defensively. Let's just do cover 3. Whoops, I don't want a new play. I wanted to respot the ball. I'm also wanting to get a look at D'Angelo Meyer. So the big problem last year was when the offense had all this field to work with and we couldn't get a rush, they could throw it right over our heads. So Enrique Trejo is out there now. Has much better coverage than a lot of the reps we saw from Buffelli last year. Now here is D'Angelo Meyer. Man, that juke kind of looks nasty. Now, we know he probably can't catch the ball too well. Doesn't mean he'll drop everything, but he'll drop enough with like his 58 catching or whatever it is. He does feel very quick. Good first step. This is a custom playbook that I'm using. I made this one and I continue to refine it. Remember, D'Angelo Meyer is a 4-star true freshman. And we're needing to replace Lamar Sperling. He's an elusive back. And he feels pretty elusive. I think you could end up seeing Dingle play a little closer to like 50%. Sperling handled a lot of the carries last year because he was so much more efficient. I don't think that... I wouldn't expect Meyer to be where Sperling was as a freshman. But he's probably going to be our RB2. I also think there's potential to get Oji Naka out there as a receiving back because it's not Meyer's forte. But if Dingle could handle that role, then maybe it's still mostly a 2-back system. Is it downloadable for the community? It should be. I believe it's called Buffalo Off. Only one O there, so it's just Buffalo FF, I guess, basically. I believe I uploaded it. Ooh, little truck stick action. What are some of the main factors that are going to be big factors in the season? I think how reliant we are on Braylon Staley. I feel like down the stretch last year, not having someone else to, shoulder a lot of the load there in the passing game hurt. And I think that the development of the defense, that has to become better. We had an awful run defense. We gave up big plays in the passing game, but we're able to get, enough sacks and turnovers to have a fighting chance at times, but we need to clean it up. Let's just focus on verticals now and see. Perfect call here. I'm just launching deep balls and seeing how they hold up. Trejo, I thought he had him there. Trejo has like 95 speed, so it's a good way to test this out. Will I ever do a team builder dynasty? On this game, no. I was checking out Team Builder earlier for Madden, and the website is still like a laggy mess, so maybe next year. So far, I like what I see trying to go deep here on our new cornerback. So that is Jeremy Caruthers, a junior. He came in with 90 speed. Antonio Rager is now on the opposite side. Ooh, we got him that time. Not by much. Now, he's doing more than hold the zone. He has not allowed Trejo to make a single downfield catch. Hey, Rec, how's it going? 4 hours of World of Warcraft. We missed you. I think we have a fun team heading into year 5, though, and if this defense is actually improved, which I think is very possible, I like our chances of chasing a double-digit win season, trying to win the MAC championship. There are so many returning pieces. Like, this is, I think, a rare opportunity where we had our big breakout last year, and most of the reasons for it are still on the team. We lose Lamar Sperling. That is the biggest loss of all. Unless D'Angelo Meyer is a freshman phenom. Try going deep in press man. Sure, let me see cover 1 press. That I expect to be a little more of an issue. Or 1 robber press. This is not a play call I break out very often with our current team. And this is also going to be Xavier Leonard being deep safety. So he got him that time. Pass off the mark from Colson. Again, on top of him there. That's a touchdown. This is a situation I'm not trying to put our corners in because I don't expect them to hold up. Nice job, Rager. Even Rager's holding his own out there, and he definitely doesn't have that same speed. That time got him. But on enough of these routes, he's right there. We're not going to be playing a whole lot of press man, though. You can expect to see a lot of the same cover 2. Sometimes it's cover 2 man. I do break that out from time to time. Sometimes it's in off coverage. Especially when I'm trying to get the CPU to throw it quick. Oh, another goal for this year is we didn't break that touchdown record with Colson a year ago. We got one more year of Braylon Staley. I want a 30 touchdown season. I want to break the Buffalo single season passing touchdown mark. He got to the spot there. Leonard. Oh my. Trejo's definitely one of those X factors for this year. If he takes a big leap, takes some of the, attention away. If they got two guys, for instance, taking away Braylon Staley, we have someone else who can win one-on-one. He could definitely be an X factor this year. But we are set up now for year 5, and I'm looking forward to getting that underway here this coming week. Thank you for all the support the first 4 years of the series. I think we're going at a really good pace. I mean, getting through 4 years is something that used to take me, May. That's when I get it done. But the series has been posted pretty consistently. Again, this page keeps crashing. I'm not seeing a lot of your comments. I apologize if I'm missing stuff. I keep looking over. I see the same comments, not realizing that the page is stopped loading. Pretty annoying. What about red zone defense? I think we're a lot more built to make plays in the red zone. I think we have more options there. Our speed isn't as much of a concern. We have rangy linebackers, so I think the windows are rather tight. What's for dinner, Kane? I think breakfast is for dinner. I smelled some bacon earlier, and I need to get me some of that. Just started the UTEP Dynasty. That's what I'm talking about. Take them to the Big 12. But yeah, I think I'm about ready to wrap things up for the day. I appreciate everybody coming out. If you wouldn't mind leaving a like on the stream, I would appreciate that. For the next handful of days and upcoming episodes, I would say you're getting a Saints video tomorrow. You're getting a Miami video on Friday on the second channel. I don't anticipate anything Saturday. But then the edited off season for Buffalo, I would look at Sunday as a possibility. I know I usually post Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but I'm not sure if I'll have anything to post on, I'm not sure I will be working on over the weekend is all. So this may show up on Sunday instead. But I hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving and get you some good food. Enjoy some family time and some football time, and I will see you all again soon. Take care, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your night.